Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the DIDIOTS podcast. Woo!
Yay! We're talking
Idiot!
about DID media today.
Mm-hmm.
Fun, fun, fun.
We're portrayed as things as like killers and crazy people and
Or superheroes, and there is no
or
in between.
superheroes.
There is just no in between. We're not portrayed as normal people. And that's all we want. That's it.
Can we just?
I
can think of. I'm pretty sure there's one movie where it's like a romance between a person with DID and a person with, I think, OCD.
Okay.
I don't remember what it's called though. I need to look it up.
Okay. Because like most of the stuff I've been exposed to DID media wise is like horrible. Like the first 2 episodes in Criminal Minds were okay. They were pretty factual. And they showed switches pretty accurately. They showed them as just kind of like a moment of like blank. And that's kind of what it is. It can be other things, but for DID media, we'll go with it. But then they went into later seasons and they had ones that showed them like seizing to switch, and I'm just like, I hate it here. But
yes, because everyone knows this is what switching looked like.
But the first 2 were actually portrayed kind of well. It was actually really triggering, especially because they were both portrayed as killers. But I still feel like it was done kind of okay in those 2 episodes. One of them was played by Jackson Rathbone, the guy who plays Jasper in Twilight. That one, phenomenal episode. I love it. One of my favorite episodes of all time. All right. Stigmatizing as hell, but still one of my favorite episodes of all time. Just because special interests go burr.
Yeah.
But then there's Hawaii 5-0, which has one of the most horrible representations of DID, where they triggered out a little to give a cop a gun. Yeah, you don't know about that one, do you?
No.
Yeah, Hawaii 5-0 is egregious.
Oh my god.
They triggered out a little in order to protect him to relinquish the gun. You don't trigger out a child if they have a live gun in their hand.
What the fuck is this?
That is so goddamn dangerous. First of all, don't trigger switches. That's fucked anyway. I refuse to watch Split.
I have seen an analysis of Split, and from what I've heard, it's like there is stuff that they got right, but also at the same time, what the fuck, the shit they got wrong is so wrong.
Did they like give him superpowers?
Yeah, because like the evil alter, the beast, has like superpowers.
And that Moon Knight, fucking Moon Knight. All right, I haven't watched it. I want to. I really fucking want to, but we're moving, and so we just don't have time. And there's a lot of personal stuff going on that we just don't have time. We want to watch it. We are avoiding other people's like reviews of it, but our sister has talked to us about it because she has watched it. They do make a distinction between like the god not being an altar and influencing one of the altars, and that's why he's the superhero. And it's super weird. It's a really weird place. But the thing is they could have just easily given the Hulk DID like he has in the comics. He has 7 altars.
DID in the comics.
He has 7 altars in the comics, my guy. 7 canonical altars in the comics, and just no one talks about it.
It's like, let's get. If we're gonna have a DID superhero, let it be one that is already established. Bruce Banner.
Give me Bruce Banner. Give me the DID representation we deserve. Give me Bruce Banner, damn it. If we get a Hulk series, they better go into it.
Right?
Because they did address Hawkeye's hard of hearing stuff in his series. He wears his hearing aids and stuff like that in his series. And so I'm like, okay, at least they addressed that. So I'm like, okay, so maybe if we get a series about Hulk. Give me my DID representation, baby. Give it. I mean, I know Moon Knight has DID in the comics. I get that. But they're also leaving out a lot of other stuff. Like, a lot of the reason he has DID, like, I've seen other creators talk about this. It's not really my place to talk about it. But I'm going to bring it onto the table and just put it in factually. In the comics, his father is a rabbi, and he faces a lot of anti-Semitism. And that's a lot of the reason why he does what he does in the comics. They don't address that at all in the show.
Oh, come on. That's bullshit.
Like, he is Jewish in the show, but he isn't, like... it doesn't have the same impact that it does in the comics. And it causes him to do a lot of what he does. It causes a lot of his issues with his DID. It causes a lot of this other things. Is it Rebecca Barabon? I think that's their TikTok. Ribera Bonbon. Do you know them?
Mm-mm.
They're on autism TikTok and Jewish TikTok.
Maybe, I don't know.
Ribera Bonbon.
Okay, no, I haven't heard of her before.
Great creator. Absolutely love her. They're the one who brought up the stuff about the anti-Semitism. And I'm like, thank you for bringing out something that's not DID related, because a lot of singlets are talking over the DID community when it comes to Moon Knight. And I'm like, thank you for bringing up a point that isn't DID related, that actually brings a lot of nuance to the conversation. And I genuinely thank them for that, and they were appreciative of me.
Nice.
And I was just like, fuck yeah, baby!
Every time I see singlets, like, sharing memes about Moon Knight, and it's just memes about DID, I'm always like,
Cracks knuckles, even though they're not cracking right now.
I got a tiny crack.
I got one out of mine. It didn't work. Usually they're crack-a-lackin', but now they are crack-a-lackin'. I hate myself too. It's fine. But yeah, go watch Rivera Bonbon for more, like, nuance on that Judaism topic for Moon Knight. She goes into it a lot more. And I'm not in a place to talk about that. I'm not Jewish. I have no right to, like, talk over people about that. But in relation to the DID, they are doing some things right. It is one of the better representations of DID that we have seen. In as far as we have heard of. There are still things that are, fantastical. He's a superhero. It's going to happen. It's Marvel. It's going to happen. But it seems like, in what we've heard, it seems like they've actually, like, been consulting with people. And actually trying to research it and trying to do this the right way. Which is good. Because a lot of people don't do that. And, like, Hawaii Five-0, or Criminal Minds, or any other crime show ever. triggering out a child. Jesus Christ, that pisses me off. That pissed me off when I saw it. Because a system shared it on TikTok, and and they're like, "This is going to piss you off," and it pissed me off. I was like, "You were correct. You were indeed correct. It did piss me off." But it's like, people ask us all the time, well, what would you do to make a DID character better? And I'm like, let a system write them.
Have a goddamn system write a DID character.
And if a singlet has to write it, think about that for a minute. Ask yourself why the singlet has to write it.
Right.
And if the singlet still has to write it, consult a fuck ton of people.
Right.
Consult a fuck ton of people with DID. Not professionals. People with DID.
Also, singlets out there. Hey, here's a fun little tidbit. I like to write stories, and I used to write a lot of stories that were very obviously DID allegories without even realizing it, and whoops, then I found out I was a system.
Right.
So if you find yourself fascinated with only writing about the concept of multiple people in a body,
look at yourself for a minute.
Maybe take some consideration into what that might mean.
But it's like, systems should be writing systems at this point. We can represent ourselves way better than you can because we can understand the nuance of our own situation and can express it a hell of a lot better.
Writing systems brings you things like, in examples of my own writing, a serial killer that has DID, but it's the host that's the serial killer, and the alters are trying to stop him.
Gotta love that.
That's so much cooler and more nuanced than there being an evil alter. Like,
yeah.
What if the evil alter is the host? Get fucked. Fuck you.
And like, hell, we're writing a memoir for the same reason. We want to be the representation within the community, because we're tired of being misrepresented all the fucking time, dude. All the fucking time, dude. Like, even in things that aren't DID but can look like DID, it still falls into DID stereotypes, like killers, murderers, shit like that, like villains. I'm gonna use a really dorky allegory for this. Sun and Moon from Five Nights at Freddy's. Everyone is like, they have DID. And I'm like, they're still a villain.
It's like, this is good representation, guys.
I'm like, guys! They are the enemy! They are actively trying to murder you. Like, we literally just wrote a paper on King Lear from Shakespeare. Because there was this character who would adopt different identities and claimed to be vexed by someone. I forget the exact wordage, but he was like vexed by a foul one or something like that. And we took that as he's hearing someone internally. And so we're like, this bitch got DID, but you just normalized it, and he's just a normal dude. This is the representation we want, and this is why this reading is important. My professor was completely on board with the paper.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah.
I really emphasized that point more, like that reading more than what he thought I was going to emphasize, I think. But I don't care.
It's like that.
We'll see if this paper gets a decent grade.
Oh.
I edit it and turn it in tomorrow. But quite literally, like, the character adopts different identities, questions his morals as to why, like, and we took that as, like, gray out amnesia. He was, like, questioning, like, why didn't I tell my father who I was? Because his father had gone blind, and so he was just pretending to be someone else, or what he thought was pretending to be someone else, and in how we explained it. And he's like, why didn't I tell my father who I was? And, like, questioning all these decisions, and I'm just like, that would be questioning your alter's decisions and gray out amnesia, and, like, that's, like, how we explained it. Obviously, there's a lot more nuance to it, and it could be not that, but, like, that's just how we read it.
See, I find it very fun reinterpreting media that's not supposed to be a DID allegory into a DID allegory.
I literally just wrote a fucking college essay on why King Lear is a DID allegory, dude.
I also love doing that with music.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime a song says we, I'm just like, this is a song about a system now.
Me with half of the song Pink has written, Jesus Christ. The voices in your head. Pink. Sweetie.
Voices.
Plural?
Nani.
I fucking love doing that. It's so fun. But, like, and people, like, get mad at me for doing that, and I'm just like, but it's fun. It makes me feel seen. It gives me an outlet to kind of feel heard and seen in media. Because I'm not explicitly seen in media.
Right? Like, let us
have our fun in peace.
Let us just have some fun. We're having a good time. Leave us alone.
That reminds me, why does
like
everyone, like, say that DID systems, or systems in general, or people that are mentally ill, that just have to be miserable all the time? Why do people think that?
Because, you have a horrible mental illness, and so you, if you're not normal, then you have to be tortured every day.
I mean, I'll admit I fucking hate the Infinite Peanut Gallery. It is like torture every goddamn day, but
it's because you're not allowed to romanticize the mental illness that you're stuck with.
Oh yes, me living happily with a mental illness is romanticizing a mental illness.
It's like,
gotta love it.
You gotta love the logic of no person with DID would ever be comfortable sharing that they have DID because, it's so weird. Oh, it's so...
My entire identity, my entire life has been being weird.
Right? Same!
Think this is gonna fucking stop me? And no one can stop me. Just the bee. Just the bee.
Can stop me. I love that bee filter.
The best part of this plan is no one can stop me.
No one can stop me. Oh man, I just remembered.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Another bit of DID in media. There's this anime called, I think it's Canon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a harem anime, and one of the girls has what I like to call magical DID.
What the fuck? What do you mean magical
cursed.
DID? Please explain.
She's cursed and she's possessed by a spirit. But it also, the series also goes into how she had a traumatic childhood, and her sister is a doctor, and her sister's like, it would make sense that she has, I think they call it multiple personalities in the series because it's an older one.
Mm-hmm.
But like her doctor sister is like, I think it's, MPD. I think it's DID. And then they break the curse because magical DID, of course.
Gotta love that.
That's like you're so close. You
almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that.
In my mind, she still has it though. That's just one of the altars was a ghost. The rest are still there. Like, what the fuck, man?
Maybe she just didn't get possessed, and the other altars are just like, dude, what the fuck? How'd this happen?
Oh man, I think that'd be really fun to write a story about a
DID system
that gets possessed.
Dude,
and then just
imagine a demon
thinking it's an altar.
Imagine a demon possessing me, and they just get in the body, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Like, why is there a line?
They're like, "Why are there so many goddamn people in here?" I can just imagine, like, Supernatural-esque, like, the smoke going in my mouth, and they just get in the body, and they're just like, what the fuck? They're like, what the fuck?
Huh? What?
Nani? It'd be so goddamn funny. I would fucking write that, dude. That'd be so fucking funny. Just a Supernatural fanfic where someone is a system. And then, like, someone possesses them, and then they're just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Why are there so many people in here?
Why are all these motherfucking people in this motherfucking brain?
How many times do you get possessed? Oh, this is the first time for me. Us. Huh?
The fuck you mean? That's so funny. That's so good. It's so good. Oh god. So what are some other, like, media, like, out there with the ID? Because I can only think of, like, crime shows and Split and Moon Knight.
I know there's also United
the fucking Billy Milligan documentary.
Oh yeah, that shit.
Fuck that shit.
Mm-hmm.
He is the only known serial killer to have DID, and they made a fucking documentary about him. Are you fucking me right now? Why? Are we a fucking spectacle to you? Sorry, that entire thing
Singlet
pisses me
voice?
off.
Yes.
Singlet voice. Oh no, we were just really interested in the Billy Milligan case.
It's just so fascinating, you know?
It's just so
CID.
fascinating.
Wow.
We made a TikTok one time, and it was like, how I forget what the beginning was, but it was like, it was the you don't want to hear me, you just want to dance, and the thing we said was, DID is so interesting, and you don't want to hear me, you just want to dance, and people were getting upset, so we put it to friends only, and we were like, this is literally, they started literally saying exactly that, and we're like, you're doing exactly what we just said wasn't okay. Like, you're doing exactly what we just said was not cool.
When DID system says DID or OSDD, system says DID or OSDD is fascinating, yes. When Singlet says DID or OSDD is fascinating, no.
Yeah. We're not zoo animals. We can be interested by our own experience, especially because I was going to be a psychology major, and I was, like, super fucking interested in psychology for a long time, and so brain go brr sometimes. And I'm just like, I put on the objective hat, and I'm just like, sometimes if I didn't have the traumatic shit in the brain, it would just be like, fine. But whatever. But, like, you know, that's a whole other thing. Brain go tangent. I don't know what I was saying. Brain go blah.
Gotta love when you start a sentence and then don't know where it was going.
Just happened. Who is it? I don't know who it is. I'm written down. I just can't remember my name.
I feel that.
Oh, goodness. I think we have... I'm written down.
Have a name.
But yeah, so Criminal Minds started off okay, and then it just got progressively worse as the series went on. Hawaii Five-O, fuck Hawaii Five-O. It's Sylvie, by the way. I am a person. Like, Criminal Minds, the first two systems, yes, they were killers. Pretty factual what they said. There was one time that they did allude to saying that the drugs could have caused it, but that was, like, the one misinformation that they really said. But they emphasized traumatic childhood.
God, what if drugs did cause DID? Imagine being a singlet. You take a drug one time and then you've got multiple people in your body.
That sucked, dude. That fucking sucked. Welcome to hell, motherfucker. God, we're like fluid switching.
Gotta love it.
And so it's like very smoothly going from one of us to another. And it's very discombobulating. Because like Sylvie and Ethan, and it's odd. DID go burr.
It sure is somebody for us. We're talking. It's fine.
Mood.
The specifics of who's saying what.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter.
We just have multiple microphones on different points of our little control panel, and people can just grab one and say whatever the fuck they want and then walk away.
That's great. We don't have microphones. If we do, they're like... I said we don't have microphones, and someone said, yes, we do. And then I said, if we do, they're this. They're the really small theater ones that get taped to your face.
Yeah.
But they just stay there because it's the inner world, and that's how the inner world works, and they're not actually taped to their face. Because that shit sucked.
Magic tape.
I fucking hated that shit. We had to get a beard painted on me for one show, and it was like the most egregious thing. It was. I've been saying egregious a lot today. I don't know what it is. It was the most atrocious thing. It was just. It looked horrible. But our beard on us now looks fine. But the painted on beard looked horrible, and now the alter that played the fucking guy in the play is like, ooh, we have a real beard now. And I'm like, okay, buddy, it's fine. Because, of course, when you're acting as a DID system, you get really into fucking character.
Yeah.
What's her name? Oh my god, what's her name? The girl who plays Naomi on 90210. Naomi 90210. Naomi Clark. Played by Anna Lynn McCord. Anna Lynn McCord has DID, and she has done interviews about it. The people who did the interviews were shit. I would love to get the opportunity to interview her and do a proper fucking interview about her DID.
That would be really cool.
Because she stated that all of her characters that she has ever played are in her system.
Makes sense. Every character I've ever roleplayed as is in my system.
I wouldn't be shocked if they're all in mine.
And then
we just haven't found all of them yet.
That reminds me, as I was reading Skip Beat recently,
yeah,
one of the things that happens is that the main character, Kyoko, gets possessed by the different characters that she acts as.
Interesting.
And she had a traumatic childhood.
Gotta love it.
A severely traumatic childhood. And I'm just like,
DID allegory, DID
DID
allegory.
allegory, DID allegory, DID allegory.
Got to love it.
So I also one of these days really want to take Shugokara and be like, this can very easily be turned into a DID allegory because there's these little people that live inside you that take over your body and change your personality.
That's so weird. Inside Out is a fucking DID allegory.
Mm-hmm.
That's just given. Sandersides is a fucking DID allegory, whether he wants to fucking admit it or not. He says it's not about DID. You don't know what representation you're giving to DID systems, though, my guy. You're giving some good representation to us. The Sandersides, good content. Good fucking content. It explains emotional parts more than it would explain apparently normal parts. But they're starting to develop like more than just one emotion per side. Like they have their own personality within them, so I'm just like DID allegory, DID allegory, DID allegory, DID allegory. Because even he says, even he may not encompass only anxiety, and I'm just like, DID allegory.
I love
Thomas
misinterpreting media through a DID lens. It's really fun.
Thomas randomly posts on Twitter too about how Virgil's doing this to him, or Remus is doing this to him. Are you sure you don't have DID, sir? Because you're making it really hard to believe that you don't.
Again, this is why when I see people who write characters or write stories that can be easily turned into DID allegories, it's like...
Just the John Cena meme, just, are you sure about that?
It's like, where did that inspiration come from? Because a lot of the time it's internal inspiration through own life experiences.
A lot of DID systems don't know their DID systems. A lot of DID systems will go their entire life without knowing.
It's almost like this disorder hides from you.
The only reason we knew is because a traumatic event happened after we were safe. And an altar split. And it was very fucking obvious because he was a child.
Yeah, I started hearing a deep male voice talking to me in my head, telling me to calm down, and that's when I realized, oh shit, something's going on. Clearly it's demons.
Luckily,
I can't have
DID
DID. I don't have amnesia.
Luckily, I knew
DID without amnesia.
Yeah. Luckily, I knew what DID was, and I knew what OSDD1B was. Like, luckily, I knew what they were because I had like taken psych classes and I had learned about them through like age regression servers and interacting with people in systems. But I didn't really know. I didn't really know what it entailed. I just knew what
of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I came to my therapist. I was like, kid, what do? She's like, does he have a name?
Like,
I was
there's
like,
a child.
I was like, not yet. She's like, tell me if he ever gets a name. I was like, okay. Then he got a name. A couple months later, he got a name. So we were like, oh, fuck. So we went in and we were like, he has a name. She's like, do you have any amnesia walls? We're like, no, not that we know of. She's like, let me know if there are any amnesia walls. Year and a half. No. How many? 2021. Fuck, there are amnesia walls. Therapist. Yeah, you sure fucking got DID, bud. But we first found the kid in October of 2018. And when we told our aunt that we have known about the DID since 2018, she was a bit shocked. Because it's 2022, and she's just now knowing about it.
Gotta love it, yes. Oh.
And I'm like, it didn't need to come up until now. It's a little bit of an issue.
Yeah, what got our system to come out was that I was going through just some really stressful bullshit, and Sylvex was like, "Okay, I need to help. I need to do my fucking job."
Just, you need to calm the fuck down.
Like, calm the fuck down. You're gonna be fine. Who the fuck is talking to me? What the fuck?
Mood. But, yeah, interpreting shit that shouldn't be DID as DID is really fun. Because all the shit we have for DID is shit.
The sudden urge to rewatch Yu-Gi-Oh! And interpret Yugi and Yami as a system.
I mean, yeah, you could. I haven't watched Yu-Gi-Oh! In a long time.
Because it's got, Yami talks to Yugi in his head. So it's magical DID all over again.
Magical DID all over again. It's so fun.
Same
I'm
with
trying to think of,
DN
like,
Angel
other...
also has, like, that concept of two people sharing a body, but there's a magical concept to it.
I'm trying to think of, like, other ones. No, that's not a DID allegory, but it would be funny if it was.
What?
Horton Hears a Who. It'd be so funny if it was.
Bringo Burr.
Bringo Burr.
I know another series I want to watch is United States of Terra, which is about a DID system. And I've heard that it's okay-ish.
Yeah, I've heard United States of Terror is one of the better ones.
I've also heard stuff like, oh, I'm trying to remember. I think, like, her husband is really shitty because of her DID.
Oh, so that's gonna be just triggering to see in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna suck. I want to see that. There was another one. I think it had Rami Malek in it.
I know that the Entropy System on YouTube has a really good series where they go over multiple different things like DID and media.
Mr. Robot. That's another one I have to watch. And it is played by Rami Malek.
Nice.
So I was correct about that. I fucking love Rami Malek. Okay? That man is fine. I don't know his stance on anything, so I can't talk for his politics. Because I don't know. But physically, he's fine. He's a fun man. I've loved him since Twilight. And then he was in Until Dawn, and then I've seen him in the Freddie Mercury movie, and I love him. That's beside the point. Just fanboying. It's okay. Sometimes you just need a break to fanboy. Right. But yeah, I need to watch Mr. Robot. I need to watch United States of Terra. I refuse to watch Split.
Mm-hmm.
There may come a time where I want to, but not right now. The United States of Terra and Mr. Robot, I've heard are okay. Split's just horrible. Moon Knight, I've heard is okay. I will watch it.
I think there's some other superhero,
and I'm sure we can come back to this topic once we watch it.
Yeah.
And talk more about those shows in particular. And maybe even do an episode on each show in particular.
Yeah.
But it just depends on when we can watch them, because I don't know what streaming services they're on. Let me look that up. Mr. Robot. Where can I watch it? Okay, I can watch it on Prime.
Nice.
What about United States of Terror? This is a premium just subscription to Hulu, so I might be able to watch it. I might not. It depends.
Yeah.
I'll have to look. See what Hulu subscription I have.
Yeah.
But if not, I will try and find my ways.
I will probably pirate it. I mean, I am a law-abiding citizen who pirates nothing, definitely.
Why do you think I said I have my ways? Alright. It's fine. We can always edit that out. But I mean, what was the show that someone had to pirate their own show just to watch it? Like someone who worked on the show at Disney couldn't even watch their own show because they didn't have Disney Plus.
The Owl House?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was that. It was bullshit.
Right.
Oh, wait. There is one more. I forget which character it is, but someone did say there's like this theory for Winnie the Pooh.
Mm-hmm.
That they all represent different mental illnesses. I forget who was said to have DID.
We have Winnie the Pooh fictives. So
There was like a theory that Christopher Robin just had like schizophrenia or something, and hold on. Oh, they don't have the DID wasn't listed. I thought it was.
I'm seeing for Christopher Robin is gender identity disorder of childhood. What?
Nani?
Who is listed as borderline intellectual functioning.
Wait,
very little brain.
Which one are you on?
I'm on some like it's some article, Pathology in the 100-Acre Woods, a neurodevelopment perspective.
That's not the one I was looking at. That is not the one I was looking at. I thought there was one that was said to have DID, but I guess not. Hold on. I'm gonna look up specifically.
I think it'd be really funny if we'd ever... Because I know we have Pooh, and I know we have Piglet. And possibly more. We did really, really like Winnie the Pooh as a kid, so...
Yeah, DID is not one of them. I thought it was. Yeah, on everything I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think.
Oh, here's a fun series to turn into a DID allegory. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Yeah.
Imagine a DID system in that universe.
We have a couple fictives.
It's like, oh, your imaginary friends become real, tangible creatures?
Could also be a schizophrenia allegory.
Mm-hmm.
Because they say that the old lady and Frankie wear the same outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And so they think that they've made that connection as well. But yeah. Any final thoughts on DID media besides current representation sucks ass?
Less magical DID, more real DID, please, and thank you.
Yeah, less magical DID, more real DID. Less murderers. Pretty pulse.
Less murderers, but more murderers if they're written by systems. I feel like that should be allowed.
Yeah. If it's written by a system, I don't give a fuck.
Like, let systems
have their creativity flow. Let them do what they want to do.
Let systems represent systems because we know how to do it.
Yeah.